Hi, my name is JC.
And I'm Abby.
Today we will be making hazelnut chocolate chip scones.
The first step is to preheat your oven to 425 degrees.
After you preheat your oven, you need to gather your supplies and ingredients. The first thing that you need is one large mixing bowl.
You need 3/4 of a cup of butter,
4 cups of flour,
3 tablespoons of sugar,
4 teaspoons of baking powder,
a half a teaspoon of salt,
a half a teaspoon of cream of tartar,
1½ cups of hazelnut creamer,
1 egg yolk,
and 1½ cups of chocolate chips.
The first step is to put your cold butter in your large mixing bowl.
You need 3/4 of a cup, which would be equivalent to 1½ sticks. The more cold you keep your butter, the more flaky your scones will be. Next, you add 4 cups of flour.
Then 3 tablespoons of sugar,
And then 4 teaspoons of baking powder,
a half a teaspoon of salt,
and a half a teaspoon of cream of tartar.
Once you have all the dry ingredients and butter in the large mixing bowl,
You will use the pastry blender to cut the butter into the dry ingredients.
while she is doing that, I will get the dry ingredient or the wet ingredients together. First, you need 1 egg yolk. You get the egg yolk by splitting the egg in half and then getting all of the whites out by putting the egg yolk back and forth in between the shells. Once you have gotten all the whites out, you will put the yolk into the already measured out 1½ cups of hazelnut creamer. Once you have that in there, you mix it together until the egg yolk is broken up into the creamer.
After using the pastry blender, the dry ingredient should have a consistency of about this. Once you've cut the butter into the dry ingredients, you're going to add 1½ cups of chocolate chips.
After you mix the chocolate chips into the dry ingredients, you add the wet ingredients to it. Then, using a spatula, you mix the dry and wet ingredients together until it gets to be a dough. While she's doing that, I will prepare the table for kneading with flour. Sprinkle some flour on the table.
After mixing all the ingredients together into a dough, you will dump them onto your floured surface.
Once you have your dough on the flour, you will knead it together. You knead by folding the dough in half and pushing down.
Kneading helps to make sure that all the ingredients are good and combined.
Knead it about 10 times or until the dough is in a ball. When the dough is ready, it will no longer be sticky.
After you get done kneading the dough, make it into a log shape. After After that, using a knife, cut it into 2 or 3 equal sections, depending on how many scones you want it to make.
Once you cut it into the 3 sections, feel them and see if you think they're about the same. Then, using one of them, form it into a ball and flatten it so that it's about 1 inch in thickness. Okay, cut it. Now that you have the dough pressed out, cut it into 8 equal triangles. You do this by cutting the circle in half, and then in half again, and then the quarters in half one more time. We have already cut the 2 other circles out.
You should have 8 per circle, making this batch make 24 scones total.
Place your scones onto the pan and then put them in the oven. The scones should bake for 15 minutes. While the scones are baking, this is a good time to clean up your mess.
Scones originated in England and were a popular treat served with mid-morning tea.
Many people like different kinds of scones, like blueberry, cranberry, nuts, lemon, poppy seed, but these are my favorite. I like to eat them with milk or coffee for breakfast. After baking your scones for approximately 15 minutes, take them out of the oven.
The scones should be golden brown on top and look something like this.
This is our favorite time to eat the scones because they're still warm.
Grab your favorite beverage, either coffee or milk. We hope you enjoy your scones.